You can't use the books to prove the
No,
books.
looking at, as you said, observing.
Yeah.
We've observed that everything is dependent.
But you don't know that is God which started everything. Well, how do you know that it was not something else?
What is something else?
You don't know exactly. We don't know. We don't know what started it. You're just making. Where's your evidence that it was this God? And are you religious by any chance? Do you have a religion? You're Christian. You said you were Christian, right? So how do you know?
I'm not Christian.
Okay, what religion are you?
I'm Muslim, but that doesn't matter.
How do you know that Allah started everything? Do you have any evidence that Allah started everything?
That doesn't matter, though. That doesn't matter.
That does matter. You need to show me the evidence, or else why on earth would I believe a single word of what you're saying?
We're just talking. We just said that the dependent things. For the dependent things, that means there has to be one thing that's independent for everything to rely on.
Again, we don't even know that things. We don't even know that.
Okay, why does that? We know that thing has to exist, though.
Do you have any evidence that Allah is independent, or you just
forget that though. But we know that thing has to exist. That entity, that independent entity.
We don't know that. Number one, we don't know whether it had a beginning. We truly don't know that the universe had a beginning. Could have always been here. We don't know. So you're already claiming stuff that you don't know. You're begging the question, my dear boy.
Exactly. We never said like God had a beginning. God's always been there.
We don't.
So that thing is God.
No, we don't. No, you don't have evidence of God. We don't even have evidence. Can you show me that?
What you just said out of your logic is what's described of God in the Quran.
But you don't have any evidence of his existence, any physical evidence that I can see, test, and empirically verify that he exists. Can you show me that?
So why would you need that? Why would you need that to believe?
I need that to believe anything. If you say that that fairies or Santa Claus exist, and I'm like, do you have any physical evidence that we can test for and see him? And you're like, no, then why on earth would I believe you? And you're making all these claims that he was the unmoved mover, all of this. Can you show me evidence of that proves that?
We've observed it. We've observed it from what we can see.
Anything. You're just claiming it. You're making a bunch of claims.
We both just agreed. We both just agreed on it. That like
begging the question, you're already presupposing your argument to be true without actually proving it. So you need to provide evidence. This is real life.
I just asked you questions, and you just said, yeah, there has to be something for everything to rely on.
No, I didn't say that, but I said even in that case, you cannot still prove it's your God. I don't even believe with that premise. But even if we go with that as being true, which it isn't, you still haven't proven your answer. You haven't.
So what do you think? What do you think happened?
I don't know. And I'm humble enough to be like, I don't know what caused everything. You, however, want to be like, it must have been this. Can I be honest?
Can I be honest with you? I don't think you're humble. I think you're arrogant.
Okay. I think we're done here. You're not even trying to understand. It is truly ridiculous. Hey, what you want to debate?
Suck my meat.
Kindest God believer. Is this what he asked you to do? Deary me. Deary me. We evolved to eat meat. We didn't evolve to eat meat. We evolved and just so happened to eat meat because it was beneficial. Doesn't mean we evolved to eat meat. That's like.
Can you look at the screen for me? Look at the screen for me. Like look directly at your camera for me.
That's like saying we evolved to have slaves. Like that's not true at all. We evolved, but we just so happened to have that because it was beneficial for survival. Doesn't mean we evolved to do that thing. We don't evolve to do anything. Hey, what do you want to do?
Hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Right. Just before I start, I wanted to sort of find out first, what do you believe in?
I don't necessarily believe in anything. I believe in, believing stuff through evidence that's empirically tested and verified, not claims that are made thousands of years ago that have no evidence for them.
Right. I think what most people probably failed to mention when they're called is that when it comes to sort of religion, it's a personal thing. So it's always hard to, I guess, defend it on a physical sort of ground. Like with me, the reason why I'm Christian is probably different from why someone else is a Christian.
That's the issue. Neither of you have any good reason to be it. You just be it because of emotional reasons, which is what.
No, not at all. I think that's false, and I can tell you why I believe in God.
My dear boy, but that's the issue. Is that you have no good reason to believe it. You still believe it, and that's not a good way of going about things.
Yeah, no, I think again, I've got a personal reason why I believe in God, and maybe if I were to tell you, I don't think it would convince you.
Anecdote of, oh, my life was so terrible.
No. I think you've been really smart to listen to others, and not jump into conclusion. We're not all we don't all have sort of similar
Yeah, of
reasons as
course.
to
Well,
why
that
we
was
believe.
just a
Yeah,
common claim. I don't know
yeah.
if you want to tell me your evidence or why you do. That would be helpful to
Yeah,
get.
maybe I'll get to that, but I wanted to find out, obviously, first of all, what you believed in. And the reason why I say that is because I've listened to you obviously mention about how complicated the world is, the universe is, and all of that stuff. And I think some of us sort of religious people draw our beliefs from that point. I mean, looking at the sun and what it does to the earth, looking at the moon,
All
looking
right.
at
Hold
things
on
that
one
are
second.
created.
Let me just mute you there. Okay, you're going into your long lore and dialogue of that. My brain is too small to understand everything, therefore it must be this amazing big God, which is clearly false, and you have no evidence for that. So, because you're intellectually struggling, let me help you out. Number one, just because everything's complicated doesn't mean it's a God. In fact, we can understand it and we could have ways of understanding it, but doesn't mean it's a God. You can't just assign it to that because you don't understand it. That's a fallacy. That's an argument from incredulity. Just you can't use your ignorance to prove something. That's fallacious. Number two is that you're still making baseless claims. You're still just saying it's the teleological argument. Oh, it must be designed. It has to prove. Someone else join because you're just gonna hit me with a teleological argument. Like, why can't you guys just get straight to the point? You don't need to give me your whole law. Like, goodness me. Like every time they just go on and on and on without finding evidence. Hey, what do you want to
Hi,
debate?
Dad.
What do you want to debate?
So I'm not going to debate,
How old are you?
actually.
How old are you?
I am 17.
Unlucky. Go watch
I'm
Barney.
not.
Trying to strike a chord, and it's probably a minor. Anyway, hey, what
What's
do you want
good?
to? What do you want to debate?
Yeah, God's imaginary.
You believe in God?
Yeah.
Where's the evidence?
So, historic facts, miracles,
Okay, do you have any evidence?
the galaxy.
Hold on one second, my dear
How
boy.
we're
Do you have any
born.
evidence?
Okay, go ahead.
Relax.
What's it?
Shh, 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 shh. Good boy. Do you have any evidence that these historical facts are true or that this miracles actually happened? Because I can claim that I flew the other day, but if I have no evidence of it, then that's clearly false. Why would I believe it? Everyone double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in here so I can add you quickly as well. And he just muted himself, so I'm gonna add someone else in. We got some team members. Let me add a team member. Double tap the screen though. Double tap the screen and feel free to subscribe. It helps go a long way. And you can their PayPal's in my bio too. And you can check out the YouTube for all my other debates as well. Double tap the screen though. Let's get some more people. Okay, you're not joining. Double tap the screen, everybody. Double tap the screen. Let's get some more people in here. Jesus Christ is real. Show me the evidence. Show me the evidence.
What's up, man?
If you're gonna make a claim,
What is this about?
provide the evidence. Hey, what you want to do?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Hello. Okay. Yeah. What you want to debate?
About God. Yeah, yeah.
Do you believe in God? Unlucky. Where's your evidence of his
I wouldn't
existence?
say it's evidence. I would say it's more based on faith.
Okay, well, faith is not a good rational way to come to conclusions about the world around us. Because, for example, I could have faith that the Earth is flat. I could have faith that Santa Claus exists. But again, if there's no evidence of that, it's just irrational. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Don't interrupt. Just relax 1 second. Hold on 1 second, my dear boy. So come back down to planet Earth, and we exist in reality, and we realize that just because you have faith something exists doesn't mean it actually exists. That's irrational.
Believing in something.
Yeah, I know. Faith is
If you
irrational.
were to
Faith
say
is
that the Earth is
irrational.
flat,
You are correct.
like
Believing something without evidence.
but
You're
no
just
one.
being irrational.
It's like a personal. It's like a personal thing. Like if you were to believe that the Earth is flat, I can't say like the Earth is not flat.
Because you'd be able to run tests and we have scientific evidence that indicates the Earth is not flat. If we go on that note, then everything breaks down and we're just being silly at that point. It would just be foolish.
That's quick. I just came. What's up? So we were talking about evidence. What type of evidence would you want for there to be God?
something that's testable, empirically proven, that we can see to be true. For example, a common thing which I think is that, for example, if you want to prove God is real through prayer, you pray to one God and one group prays something consistently and it consistently happens. We can see a correlation and we can see evidence through that way. But so far there's been zero evidence, yet you still want to make baseless claims. So if you have no evidence, then just leave because it's useless.
Well, okay, you're being a little aggressive, but what if I told you that we have testimonial evidence in Islam, for example, in Iran, where millions of people are coming to the Lord Jesus because they ask upon him and he shows up?
Number one, if you're a Muslim, then Jesus is a prophet, not God. Number two,
I know that.
appreciate the rose. Appreciate you sending the rose. Number two, testimonials. Hold on one second. Don't interrupt. Number two, just because someone says something doesn't make it true whatsoever. That's fallacious, and that is
But you
just not a good argument
just said
whatsoever.
if we can repeatedly see how this prayer connects with this deity, then that is something to consider, right?
And so far, that's not been the case whatsoever at all. Understandably so, because it's not real. For example, like, you think he's going to care about you wanting to, I don't know, God, I lost my keys. Please help me find it. He'll answer your prayer. But all the people in the concentration camps who are praying for their lives, he just ignored all of them, but he cares about you. It's very
I would
arrogant and it's
say that,
foolish.
for example, in Iran, what's happening is that they don't like the Iranian regime. They don't like what Islam has done, but they still believe in God. So they asked Jesus to show up. And now we have studies from, we have testimony from the Department of Justice. We have, I can give you the scholars' names, Johns Hopkins University, the Iranian intelligence minister. Millions of people are converting to Christianity in Iran, and they're getting persecuted unalived because they insist upon these visions and miraculously
Let me help you out. Hold on one second. Let me help you out real quick because you're struggling intellectually. Number one, just because people die for it doesn't make it true at all. It doesn't provide any evidence for it, and it doesn't mean it is correct. Number two, again, you can bring up Iran and all you want. You can bring up all of that, but that's not providing evidence. You have not proved anything whatsoever. You're just saying stuff. That's not evidence of a deity just because a lot of people believe it. That's an appeal to ad populum. Just because a lot of people believe it doesn't mean it's true. Again, you're not providing any evidence whatsoever, and I'm still waiting for it.
Is evidence the same thing as proof?
Pardon?
Is evidence the same thing as proof?
Those are synonyms, correct?
They're different though, right?
No, they're mostly the same. Proof evidence provides basis for substantial belief, which you have not provided yet. So I'm going to ask you for the.
So is the Big
third
Bang
time,
Theory
do you have any
proven?
evidence? Yes, it has, because we have evidence for it. We can observe redshift in galaxies. So essentially, we can actually see it with our own two eyes and we can observe it. That's why we come to it. You have not provided any evidence. And now you're trying to do a red herring. You're trying to bring up something else because you realize that you yourself have no evidence.
Okay, so